We're so happy to have you here. My name is Renee, and let me tell you just a little bit about myself and my company. My son and I are co-owners, and we own T-Mart Vinyl and Rhinestone Supplies. We started in my basement 8 years ago, and we've grown since then and opened our first storefront location 3 years ago. In addition to that, we run a successful Etsy shop that focuses on rhinestone designs. Rhinestone designs are so much fun and they're very popular. You can definitely make a profit with it or just have fun making something for yourself. So let's get started. Okay guys, so let's go over the supplies that you will need for today's class. So of course the first thing you will need is your rhinestone design. You can purchase rhinestone designs from Etsy or you can Google it. You can go to Creative Fabrica. There's a number of places you can buy the rhinestone designs. And these will be pre-made designs, which are basically just small circles that you will use to cut out to brush your rhinestones into. Of course, you'll also need a cutter. Today I'm going to use the Silhouette Cameo along with a mat to place my material on. You're going to need some rhinestone template material. Again, you can probably purchase this from Etsy or Amazon. This is a piece of rhinestone material that we actually made here that I'm going to use today. You will need a piece of transfer tape to pick up your rhinestone design when you're done. You'll need a piece of Coroplast cardboard, and basically I use this just to place the template material on when I'm done cutting. Of course, you'll need your rhinestones. We're using SS10 today, and I have two different colors, blue rhinestones and clear. Also, another pro tip, you can use this is just a paintbrush, a trimmer brush that you can buy at the hardware store to brush your rhinestones. And this is especially helpful. It's called a wax picker. One side of the point is wax, and the other side is just a pointy tip that you can use to pick up your rhinestones and move them around when you're doing your design. You'll need a pair of scissors, and this is not necessary, but I have a little scoop here that's used to scoop up your rhinestones when you're done to easily get them back in your jar. And of course, you'll need whatever you are going to make today. Today I have a t-shirt, but of course, you can use other types of apparel. This would look nice on an apron. You could put it on a tablecloth. Any type of fabric like that it will apply to. I think dark colors are best just for contrast so it'll show up nicely. And that is what you'll need for today's class. So guys, this is the file that we are going to be using for today's class. As you can see, it's a two-color design and it's separated by color. So that's very important. That means we're going to have to cut two templates, one for the clear stones and one for the blue stones. Also, another important thing to note, on rhinestone designs, you are going to cut them right reading, meaning you do not mirror the design. It's going to be cut just the way it is. So let's start out with cutting the first part, which is going to be the snowflakes. So I'm going to just move this blue part out of the way. So I'm just going to group that. And move it over. And for our snowflake design, we're not going to need this black part in the back. So I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so then next, I'm going to group all of the circles together for the snowflakes. And I'm going to change my mat size to 12 by 12 because that's what I have here today. And I changed my mat color to black so we can see it. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to cut, just the snowflakes. And I'm going to kind of just center it there on the mat. And at this point, I can send it to my cutter. So what I'm going to do is select, so you see that it turns red, so it captured the dots. And I'm going to select rhinestone template material. And I'm going to change the force and make the force 16. I'm going to change the speed to 10, and the force is 33 and 2 passes. And then from there, I'm going to get ready to send it to my silhouette. And then once this is done cutting, of course, I'll repeat the same thing for the blue part of the design. Guys, so our first sheet finished cutting on the cameo, and I'm just going to pull it back. And as you can see, what we're left with are holes on the paper. Now, some of these, you know, they're not going to come out on the pull, but we'll just poke them out. All right, so this is what we're left with. And I'm just going to use the end of my wax picker to poke out the ones that didn't come out. And then we will apply it to the board. Okay guys, so I have all of the round circles poked out, and I'm going to put it onto our backer board. So this side is sticky, and basically I'm just going to place it down and smooth it out. Okay, so then our next step is I'm going to cut the blue part. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, so here we are with part number 2, which is Let It Snow. So I'm going to send this part over to cut on the cutter. And we're going to just press send. Okay, so it's highlighted in red and it will send to our cutter. And once again, we'll come back when that's done. Okay guys, so we are back with our templates cut and applied to our board. And I want to just go over really quickly the supplies that I'm going to use from here. So I have my rhinestones. These are SS10 size, and I'm going to be using clear for the snowflake and blue for Let It Snow. And of course you can use any color rhinestones that you want. This is just the example that I'm doing today. I'm also going to be using my paintbrush to swirl the stones around, my wax picker to use the wax tip to pick up rhinestones and this side to move things around. My transfer sheet, this is just sticky adhesive paper that you use to pick up the rhinestones. And this will just peel off of the back like that. So this part is sticky. And of course I have a t-shirt over here to the side and my heat press. Now I do not suggest that you try and do this with a home iron. I'm not sure that you'll be able to get even pressure and enough heat to make it stick to the shirt. So I would suggest either using a heat press or a craft press to do this with. Okay, so we're going to start with the snowflakes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some of these clear stones on here. Just a good amount. Be generous. And then I'm going to use my brush to move these around. And so basically what's happening is the rhinestones will drop into the holes. And so we're just moving these around in a circular motion. And move some over here. So all around, wherever the holes are in your design. Okay, and then I'm just going to brush the excess off to the side. And you'll see as I brush this off, you'll see how the rhinestones landed in the holes of the design. And if there's some missing, you can just brush over it again. So basically, what we'd like to do is get, if not all of the holes filled, the majority of the holes filled as we brush these around. Okay, and then I'm just going to brush these off to the side. And you can kind of see as I do that how the rhinestones kind of fell into place. So I know it probably looks maybe tedious and time consuming when you look at all these little bitty holes. But as you can see, as I brush these off, most of them fell into the holes on their own. So it's really not that bad. It doesn't take that long to do. All right, so now we have the wax picker part. So this is where I'm going to use my tip. And basically I'm just kind of looking around to make sure that there are no stones like on top of each other. And there's a few holes that I have to fill in. So I'll just pick up a rhinestone and put it into the hole. You know, wherever I see that is still blank. So it's just a few here and there. So it's one right there. All right, and I have one more here. All right, so I'm just gonna take another quick look and make sure that there are no stones out of place. Okay, so everything looks good. And what I'm gonna do is use my scoop to pick up the rhinestones that I brushed off to the side, because we definitely want to be able to use these later. Right, so now what we're going to do is pick this up with our transfer paper. So this is our transfer tape. So I'm just going to peel it off the back and place it down on our design. So one thing to keep in mind, you definitely cannot change your mind when you do this. So you want to place it down in one motion and don't try and pick it back up, because you'll mess up the whole design. So basically I just have my transfer tape folded in the middle and we lay it down. So you can even use your brush to brush on top. You just want to make sure that all of the stones are being picked up. Okay, then we're going to peel our tape back. And so see how the rhinestones come up? So if you peel it back and you notice one didn't pick up, just put it back down. And you can just press it with your finger to make sure that the stones are getting picked up. So there we have it. So all of the stones are on this transfer tape. And I'm going to put this to the side. I can actually just put this paper back on top of here, and then I'll brush the blue part. Here we are with part 2. So I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm using blue stones for Let It Snow. So I'm going to pour some stones on top of the design, and we're going to take our brush and swirl it around. And you do much better, you know, just don't be afraid to pour a lot of stones out, because it's easier and quicker to brush them if you have a lot of stones on the design. And we're just brushing kind of in a circular motion. All right, so there we have it. Now I'm going to use my wax picker again to just fill in a couple of spots where there's no stone. So that did really, really good actually. So there's one out of place, so I'll just move that. Okay, so I have another piece of transfer tape, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Just pick it up with the transfer tape. So I have it just a little dip in the middle here, and we are going to lay it straight down. And just smooth it out. So We can also use this part of our wax picker to kind of move things into place if they got just a little bit out of place. And we got a beautiful pull. All of the rhinestones are on the transfer tape. Okay, so now the next part is going to be pressing our shirt. Okay guys, so here we are. We're ready to press our shirt. And I just have a gray V-neck t-shirt here. And I'm going to use my craft press today to press it. So we're going to press one color at a time. It is possible to pick up both colors at the same time, but I actually prefer to do them one at a time so I don't mess up the whole template. So I'm going to do the Let It Snow part first. And I'm gonna position it. Okay. So that looks good to me. And I'm gonna put this is just a craft press, down and start it. So I had it set to 17 seconds. And the temperature is set to 325. Okay. So now be very careful. This is going to be really hot. And we're just going to peel this back. And look at that sparkle. That's the part that's the most fun, I think. So now we're gonna put the snowflakes down. And we're just gonna line this up. Now what you might wanna do is, just for a little tip, you might want to print out your design on your printer so you can just look at it to make sure that you have the placement correct as you place this down. So I'm just going to line this up. Beautiful. And so basically what I was trying to do is make sure that the snowflakes are lined up here as it was in the design. And that looks so nice. Okay, so we're going to do this again. We're going to press it one more time. With our craft press. Oops. And just make sure that you have the entire design covered. All right. And once again, be very careful because this is hot. You don't want to burn yourself, it's very hot. And look at that. It is just beautiful. So let me hold this up for you. So you can see our, be creative with it. You can do it on different types of garments and of course change the colors up. Let It Snow could be, this part could be in red if you'd like. Or you could use AB stones. AB stones, the color shifts slightly, you know, as it hits the light. So there we have it, our finished design. Finished design. So that's it for today's class, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We enjoyed having you. And a big thank you to Applique Getaway for allowing us to do this class. We really appreciate the opportunity, as well as a big shout out to my son Michael, who's the cameraman today. And also, if you're interested in purchasing any of the items that we used in today's class, there will be links at the end of the video. You can pause and jot that down, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.